Well, good morning and welcome back out here to another edition of Backcountry Trails. In this episode, I'm going to be taking a wilderness patrol up the Devil Slide Trail up to kind of the ridgeline, the area of Saddle Junction, where there's a five-way trail split. PCT heads north, kind of toward the peak. It also heads south with Tockwitz Peak at the Fire Lookout. Or there's also another trail that heads out for Willow Creek Trail, and another one that goes out to the Corumba Trail. And there's trails all over the place from up there. And the reason I'm going up there is there's a big storm coming in. And actually the afternoon that I'm up there is when it starts rolling in. And over the next several days, it just got dumped. We got almost 2 feet of snow up at the upper elevations. And even we got over a foot even at Saddle Junction where I was at. In fact, the day I was up there, you could tell the storm was coming in. It was cold, it was windy, it was in probably the mid-30s and 15 mile an hour wind in places. And there's a storm system moving in. It's nice and chilly here. It's probably in the mid-30s right now. There's a good stiff 20 mile an hour wind right now. So I go up there and do a wilderness patrol. I check on some of the backcountry campsites, and I'll show you what some of the conditions are like in the winter up there in the San Jacinto National Forest, basically the San Bernardino National Forest, San Jacinto Wilderness. But before I get to that, I just want to tell you, I've been on a couple of hikes recently, and something's come to mind that it's been kind of bugging me. I want to get this off my chest. And if you have any comments on what I'm about to talk about, feel free to chime in below or leave a comment down below. There's an area kind of south and west of my house. It's the Santa Margarita River Gorge. It's a gorgeous wilderness area that connects the I-15 freeway to the west all the way down to Camp Pendleton in the Pacific Ocean. And through that gorge, back in the day in the 1800s, there used to be a railroad. There's a lot of historic value down there in that canyon, and it's a wildlife corridor, and it's a huge tract of land. But you can't go down there. There's no trails that go down to the bottom of the gorge. And if you try to drive to the top end of the gorge on the northern boundary or the southern boundary, you're met with a sign that says it's closed. It's a private property, and it's managed by, I believe it's UC San Diego. And you have to contact them to get permission to go down there. Well, I've lived out in Temecula for over 30 years, and I've never actually been down to the bottom. And because of that, so I contacted the people at UC San Diego, and I tried to get permission. I gave them my background. I'm a wilderness ranger. I have extensive hiking experience. I've lived in Temecula for 30 years. And they told me no. They said flat out, we do not allow anybody down there. It's a wilderness study area. It's been that way for 30 years or more. And the only way to get down there is with a docent-led tour. And that's it. And they said, if you want to go down there, you have to join us, and you have to become a docent, or you have to go with the one time a year annual trip they make down there. That's a large tract of public land that it's not private. It's federal land. It's just managed by UC San Diego, and they won't allow anybody down there. While I understand the need for wildlife corridors and wildlife wilderness areas, the fact that they're preventing people, tax-paying public, from accessing lands that we're paying for, it kind of just sets a bad tone with me. And to make matters worse, I went out. I went out and I went to an area that used to be an abandoned prison, like a conservation prison camp, an honor farm, out Highway 79 toward the eastern end of Palomar Mountain. And there's a road that's paved that goes all the way to the location. I found it on the map, and I went out there last week to go check it out. And I got all the way down there, and I made the turn on the road, and I hit a big locked gate. It's a big locked gate. It says it's private property managed by the Vista Irrigation District. Well, that didn't used to be the case. You used to be able to drive. I've driven down that road before. And now there's a big gate, and now there's a bunch of padlocks on the gate. And now there's no way to get to it. So I thought, okay, well, I guess I can't go there. Well, there is another road, a Forest Service road, about 5 miles away that allows access to another part of the region. And so I went 5 miles up the road and went down the Forest Service road, and it was closed. It's like, okay, well, maybe the Forest Service closes it because it's, it's in the winter, and because of the rain and snow that we had at some of the upper elevations. They don't want vehicles up there churning up the truck trail and making matters worse. And so that's not something that's that unusual. That happens every year at certain times. So I was surprised. So I got shut out on the first hike in the Santa Margarita River Gorge. I got shut out on my second one down there by the prison camp, down in the Vista irrigation area. But the week before that, I did go to another area that I found out, and I'm going to talk about this in a future episode. To me, this is very interesting. It's a hike to the burial location of one of the founding fathers of the town of Julian. It's the guy that first discovered gold in Julian in the late 1800s. And I went there and I worked my way. It's all in the Cleveland National Forest. There's no signs that say no trespassing. So I worked my way off trail for most of it. There was kind of a used trail, but I ended up getting almost to it. And I ran across a couple of fences. I thought they were cattle fences with iron gates. There's no signs on them. Went through them, went all the way to the location, found the actual burial site of the person I was looking for. And on the way back, I saw a sign that said, private property, no trespassing. Well, I had just come through there. There were no signs on the direction I came from. But now going back, there was a sign. I thought, well, I got to get back to my car. So I'm just going to have to roll the dice and I'm going to have to go through this area and hopefully nobody will say anything. Well, on the way back, I noticed there was a trail cam overlooking a little puddle of water, pond, a small like stock pond. It's a great spot for a trail cam. And if you've ever looked at any of the trail cam videos, you'll see mountain lions and bobcats and foxes and hawks and snakes. And I mean, it's a great location. But the sign said that it was closed to the public and it was all managed by the San Diego River Gorge Foundation or something like that. And I thought, okay, here's another huge swath of public land that is not, you're not able to go down and check it out. So when I got home, I posted a picture of that trail cam in that pond of water. And I got quite a bit of negative feedback pretty quick saying, you're not allowed there. And that one of the guys said, oh, I managed that trail cam and you're not supposed to be there. That's not open to the public. That's closed. So here is another huge section of land that's open to the public, that's, not open, but it's owned by the public, that's not owned by the San Diego River Gorge Foundation or whatever it is, but it's managed by them. So this is the third actual large tract of land within 50 miles of my house that are public lands that are not accessible to the public. All of these areas would be great spots for trails. And anyways, so I just thought if there's any areas out by you that are like that, areas that you should be able to get to that you can no longer get to because they're managed by some organization that determines the only people that are allowed to go down there are the people that are in their clique. And anyway, so that's why I'm a little upset about it. But it's been bugging me for like months, a month and a half, I guess, since this whole thing started. So I guess I'm just reduced to hiking the same old trails in the same old forest, I guess, because all the good areas you're not allowed to go to. Well, anyway, in this episode, I am allowed to go. I'm a wilderness ranger up here in San Jacinto. I'm going to be going up the Devil's Slide Trail. I'm going to be coming upon some of the areas of ridgeline that are not really on the trail that only us wilderness rangers know about that have some phenomenal views. And I come across an illegal campsite, not so much an illegal campsite, but a legal campfire that was established at one of the campsites. And I break that down. I talk about some other things while I'm up there. So that'll all be coming up in this edition of Backcountry Trails. Well, in the meantime, do me a favor. Look on the maps in your area and see if you can find spots by your house that should be open to the public that are in the national forests that you're not allowed to go to. And let me know. Post a comment down below. Well, anyway, stick around. We're going to be heading up the Devil's Slide Trail on a cold winter day up to Saddle Junction. That'll all be coming up next. Well, good morning and welcome out here to another edition of Backcountry Trails. Today I'm doing a wilderness patrol of the Devil's Slide Trail. I'm going to work my way up to the top of Saddle Junction and I'm going to make a left and head northbound on the Pacific Crest Trail up toward another trail junction where the Deer Springs Trail goes to the left and the trail up to Wellman's Divide goes to the right. And there's a place called Strawberry Junction. It's also called Annie's Junction. So we're going to be working our way up there. I'll have a good day today. And have breakfast once I get up to the top. And in the meantime, can enjoy the peace and solitude up here in the San Jacinto wilderness, except for the acorn woodpecker over here. Well, that's an acorn woodpecker working on the tree there. There's several of them up here. I've heard them. Also blue jays up here. Seen a few squirrels. Saw a big coyote crossing the road right before I got to the trailhead. So maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see some wildlife today. Well, this is known as Middle Spring. This is one of the most reliable sources of water along the Devil's Slide Trail. I had 2 full liters when I left the trailhead, and I usually don't drink enough, so I brought my Grail filter today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up here at the spring and then use my filter here to get some nice clean water. Can't get much fresher than water coming right out of the source, right out of the mountain. If you never used a Grail filter, it takes a little bit of manpower. You have to push the filter and force the water, push the filter down and force the water up through the bottom of the filter. I usually let gravity and body weight do the trick. Takes about 30 seconds or so. And as I'm pushing down, the water is going through the bottom of the filter and going to the bottle on the other side of the filter. All right, so it is done. So now I have about 28 ounces or so of fresh, clean water right from Middle Spring along the Devil's Slide Trail. I have seen a couple of hikers. Ran into one guy who was heading up to the peak, and ran into 2 gals that were doing a hike up here, and they were going to Taquas Peak to the fire lookout. So wish them well, check their permits. They both had permits, so that's a good thing. And I don't hear anybody else. I don't see anybody else. I'm about halfway up the Devil's Slide Trail. And just taking a break here to refill my water, and I'll continue on up the trail towards Saddle Junction. Well, I'm here at Saddle Junction, and I decided to take a few minutes. I'm going to have breakfast. I've got a couple of boiled eggs, and I'm trying out a new stove today. I'm trying the Subtle Windmaster, and it's the Triflex with the 3 supports, and it nests inside this Fire Maple 600 pot perfectly. So it shouldn't take long. I've only got about 12 ounces of water. And it should bring this to a boil in about a minute and a half, maybe even less, I don't know. And then I'm going to have some Stroop waffles and some boiled eggs in my little Fire Maple boiled egg holder. I really like that. Should come to a rolling boil here pretty quick. That's the benefit of having a, yeah, it's already steaming. Having a pot with fins in it. It controls the wind very well, and wind doesn't really affect it. There's not a lot of wind here anyway. At least right now there isn't, but you're not going to have to use a windscreen on this. It's pretty much almost the same as a jet boil. I think it's boiling. Oh yeah, full on rolling boil. So now I got to wait for it to cool down a little bit. Then I can have my tea and my boiled eggs for breakfast this morning. Well, I'm taking a break up here at Saddle Junction, and I brewed up some hot water, and I made some tea, and didn't take long with that Soto Windmaster stove. Took probably about a minute and a half at the most. I didn't, typically, you boil a cup or 2 cups of water. I boiled about 12 ounces, which is what this cooksa holds, and I made some tea, and I'm going to have my stroopwafel, and I'm going to have a boiled egg to go with it. I had it in this fire maple egg holder. Actually worked pretty well. It's for a boiled egg. It's not. I mean, you can bring raw eggs in there, but I'm not going to bring a fry pan and cook breakfast out here like that. So the boiled egg was perfect. Ran into several hikers already on the way up here. One guy was heading all the way up to San Jacinto Peak. That's a tough climb. That's about a 15-mile day with about 4,500 feet of elevation gain. That's an all-day deal there. Ran into another couple of ladies. I thought I saw movement. Another couple of ladies who were heading up to Tockwitz Peak. They'd never been there before, so I kind of told them what to expect, and I gave them a little warning about the very end section has got some ice still. So if they get to that section and it's still iced up, they probably shouldn't try to go any further. Ran into a couple more people that were coming up. They were from Wisconsin, so they were also heading up to Tockwitz Peak, and it's funny, they're flatlanders coming from Wisconsin, and they were kind of laughing when I told them, once you get up above 8,500 feet, you're going to feel that altitude, and so they're kind of looking forward to that as well. And even though it's cold here today, it's probably in the upper 30s up here at Saddle Junction. For somebody from Wisconsin, I'm surprised they weren't wearing shorts and flip-flops at this point. But I'm going to take a break here for about 15-20 minutes, and I'm going to have my breakfast and get caught up on my hydration. Have a stroopwafel, eat my boiled egg breakfast, and then I'm going to head northbound Pacific Crest Trail up toward Annie's Junction. Annie's Junction is kind of an area where if you continue straight, you'll end up on Wellman's Divide, past Wellman's Cienega, and you'll work your way over toward the Palm Springs Tram. If you go left, you'll continue on the PCT and eventually reach a junction with the Deer Springs Trail, which will take you all the way back down to Idlewild. So I've never patrolled the area north of Saddle Junction other than just right around here. I haven't been up to Annie's Junction, and I'm kind of curious. I have hiked actually a long time ago. I've actually hiked all the way over to Wellman Divide and up to the peak from here, but it's been a long time, so I'm going to go up there today and see what's changed. And obviously talk to some hikers along the way. I didn't bring coffee. I brought coffee, I just didn't make it. So maybe when I get a little further up. They have a prescribed burn over in Pine Cove. In my last episode, I talked about, I showed you a video of the smoke from the Pine Cove prescribed burn from Thomas Mountain. So I guess they're still over there. They're still working on it, tending to some hot spots and keeping an eye on that area. And so that's what that was about. But it's supposed to snow later tonight, and I wouldn't doubt it because it about feels like it's ready to snow now. Snow level's supposed to drop to about 6,500 feet, which is the very bottom of the Devil's Slide Trail. We're at about 8,200, I think, 8,100 here at Saddle Junction. And I'm going to be working my way northbound a little further up. I think I'm going to get to almost 9 before I turn around. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy my tea while it's hot, have my stroopwafel and my boiled egg, and listen to the wind whistling through the trees. All up here in the San Jacinto Wilderness, atop the Devil's Slide Trail. Well, I'm up here above Saddle Junction. I went to the north on the Pacific Crest Trail, and from this vantage point, we have a tremendous view looking to the west. Suicide Rock is down there around the corner. I was on the edge a few seconds ago, and it about took my hat and blew it down the canyon, so I decided to come up a little ways. But got a tremendous view looking to the west out toward the ocean. Saddleback Peak, Orange County High Point's over there on the far right, looking down into Strawberry Valley, Strawberry Creek. Over this way up there at the top is Tockwitz Peak. So there's a storm system coming in tonight, and it's pretty obvious it's coming in because I can feel the temperature change. It's cold right here. I'm gonna have to switch out the baseball cap and put the beanie back on, I think. Got gloves on too, and I can feel the wind going through the fleece on these gloves, so I might have to add another layer. I'm wearing my jacket too, which I haven't done so far. But been a good hike so far, and this area up here is a tremendous spot for camping. So there are some tent pad sites like one right here, but you have to deal with the wind because it's at an exposed area. This would be a great place probably in the summertime when it's hot and you want that cool breeze. But right now with the storm coming in, this is not the place to be. It's really cold here. So I'm going to continue northbound back over to the PCT and see how far I get before I have to turn around. I'm already tired. Got a great view of, you might not be able to see a great view of Diamond Valley Reservoir overlooking that way. As you can see, the layers, the marine layers and the fog has moved in over the valley. So I'll be up here for a little bit. If it gets too cold, I'll start heading down. But man, what a pretty sight up here. This is a great spot. Up here in the San Jacinto Mountains. Well, sometimes it's nice to get off trail a bit. You can scout around a little bit, see if you see any signs of wildlife. See if you can locate any illegal campsites, fire rings maybe. Sometimes you see wildlife. You can see this is a draw right here. Look at all the pine cones. Makes for rough footing sometimes. But luckily I've got good strong boots. And I'm gonna work my way around to the east and eventually work my way back over to Saddle Junction. In the meantime, I'm going to explore this side of Saddle Junction that I've never done before. Very quiet back here. And there's no wind, so it's nice. Still cold though. Now you wonder what did this. Was this just a long, heavy branch that busted off? But you think if it would have busted off, you would have seen it down here. I wonder where it went. From this angle, it almost looks like a rhino. All the dead trees back there. Well, if you ever decide you want to go backpacking in the San Jacinto Wilderness, there are some great campsites. This is what's known as Chinquapin Flats. This is yellow post site number 1, brown post site. You can reserve these campsites online, and if you do reserve one of the brown post remote sites, it'll be yours, you know, for the duration of whatever your reservation is. If you decide you don't want to camp here, and I don't know why you wouldn't, this is a great spot, you can remote camp in other places, and the key to it is as long as you're 200 feet from the trail and from other streams or water sources, and you're out of view from any other hikers on the trail. But this site here is Chinquapin Flats number 1. Number 2 was that direction over there, and there's just some great spots. And they're kind of hard to find. You have to really keep your eye out, because what the National Forest Service did is to indicate that little use trail that goes to one of these sites. It's 2 rocks on both sides, 2 logs, 2 rocks. So you'll see, 2 sets of 2, and then 2 logs, and then 2 rocks. And then that'll be your indication that somewhere up there, probably over the little ridge line, just out of view of the trail, is going to be your remote campsite. So anyway, this is Chinquapin Flats number 1. Great spot. Be a good spot for a hammock too, if you hammock camp. It's be perfect, perfect sets of trees. Look at that. That's like prime right here. Prime hammock hanging right there. I might have to come back up here in the summertime and do a summertime overnight patrol and bring my hammock. It's not quite as cold here because of the wind. The wind's not blowing, so the jacket might have to come off. We'll see. Now this is on the far western region, and that would also be a nice place to camp, but that's what's left of an illegal campfire. The Wilderness Patrol Rangers broke it down, scattered all the rocks around, broke down the illegal fire ring. You can see the scorched rocks right there. That's not good. I don't know why people do this. Well, just so you can get your bearings, up there, I zoom in, that's the Tuckwitz Peak Fire Lookout from the west side ridge. It's a gorgeous spot right here. Well, I found this interesting. This little burned out section of tree right here. I'm working my way between Chinquapin campsite number 1, and I'm going cross country to find number 3, which should be over here. I'll be working my way that way. Hopefully I'll locate that one as well. Been pretty quiet. I haven't seen anybody in 2 hours. Haven't heard any voices except mine. Come to think of it, I haven't even heard a woodpecker. It's really quiet here. All right, well, Chinquapin site number 3 is just to my left. I'll be there in a minute, but check out the moss growing on these trees. Is that cool or what? Well, this is what you hate to see. This right here. This is somebody that didn't follow directions, had an illegal campsite. I'm going to do what I can to get rid of some of the evidence. This is all at Chinquapin Flats, or this is all at Chinquapin number 3. I mean, I don't know of any legitimate backpacker that hauls 10 cans and has a fire when they're specifically told not to. God, that's irritating. Well, I spent the last 30 minutes breaking down this illegal campfire. It's not hot, thankfully, but, had to remove the 10 cans, had to remove all the logs. There was a couple of logs and there was a big ring of rocks. I scattered them all over. A lot of them are burnt. So I'm trying to discourage the next person that comes here. There's no way to really camouflage the site. I'm sure they're going to see the remains of what was once a campfire, and they're probably going to get an idea that, oh, we can build a campfire here, and you can't. You agreed to that when you signed in for your wilderness permit and your backcountry overnight backpack permit. So I don't know what people are thinking, how dangerous it is to be up here and lighting fires when the tinder is as dry as it is. I don't know. But I did my best. I dismantled the ring. I collected the cans. And Now I got to work my way back down to the Corumba Trail. I'll loop back around, back up to Saddle Junction, start heading down. It's getting late and it's getting cold. I was actually getting hot doing all that manual labor. I should have brought my shovel. Well, I spent the last half hour dismantling this illegal fire ring right here. There were rocks all around it, a bunch of tin cans. I don't know what's gotten into people. I don't know why they would do that. You know, they signed an agreement when they got their wilderness permit, their backcountry backpack permit, that there's no fires. They read the rules, they signed it, they agreed to that, and then they come back here and they, you know, gather up a bunch of rocks, and they make a fire ring and, you know, cook a bunch of God knows what it was in tin cans, pork and beans or something, and then leave the cans in the fire ring, leave all the wood here, and, you know, wait for somebody like me to come along and have to clean it all up. Thankfully, this was an old one, and the coals weren't hot. I put my hand inside it, and just to make sure, and now I'm all dirty, filthy dirty, both hands, from picking up the soot-covered rocks and logs and unburned wood and partially burned wood. I scattered it all over, so hopefully the next person that comes up, you know, they're going to see the charcoal, and they're probably going to think, oh, somebody must have had a fire here, but hopefully it'll dissuade them from doing it again. It's getting late, I got to hurry up. You know, I don't think most people realize just how much debris is on the forest floor. You know, when you're on a marked trail, it's a nice, usually 3-foot wide dirt section. Occasionally you'll step over a pine cone or something, but you know, you wonder what feeds or fuels these wildfires. It's this right here. There's so much dead wood down here. Dry, brittle wood that burns extremely fast. Eventually, nature will reclaim it, but in the meantime, we've got all this fuel for wildfires. That's why there's rules in place that say no campfires up here in the wilderness. And the reason is, you can imagine what would happen if this all caught fire, how well this would burn. There'd be no stopping this. Well, I made it back to Saddle Junction. Hey, it looks like somebody made a bed right here. So obviously they took branches, probably off a live tree, what they're not supposed to do, and they threw them down there so they could sit there up against the rock in a little bit of comfort. But you can't do that. It's a wilderness. You can't do that. Well, I made it back to Saddle Junction, and now I'm trying to race the storm to get back to Humber Park. There was about a 30-40% chance of rain and sleet today, this afternoon, and it's this afternoon, and it's getting dark, and it's getting colder, and the good thing is I'm only about 2.5 miles from Humber Park, and it's downhill, so I can make pretty good time. My battery died on my microphone, so it'll be cell phone video from here on out. I'm tired. I had a lot of work today, but I burned some calories. Well, I'm working my way down. That's Suicide Rock peeking its head out through the trees back there. And when you get below Suicide Rock, you know you're getting down toward the bottom. Running into quite a few hikers that are, I'm not going to say unprepared, but I had two guys that, one guy's just wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and a little thin windbreaker, no pack. Said he was going to Tuckwitz Peak. A little late in the day to be doing that, buddy. buddy, his friend that he was hiking with, he had a pack, and supposedly he was carrying over 3 liters of water. And you know, it's going to get dark in 3 hours, and they're still 30 minutes from Saddle Junction and another hour from the peak. So they're going to be racing the clock to get down before it gets dark or it rains, either one. I don't know. They didn't have permits either. I was all dead set on turning them around. And in fact, I did turn them around. And I mentioned, you know, the QR code, and they, believe it or not, they had cell signal where I was standing, and they pulled up the permit process and actually applied and received their permit online via the QR code and showed it to me. So there's nothing I can do. You know, I can't turn somebody around just because I don't feel they're qualified. I don't know, maybe I can. Maybe that's something I need to ask somebody. But another guy just passed me on a trail run, heading up. He didn't have a permit. He's a firefighter, just retired, like 25 years in the firefighting business, and he lives local, and he's going to volunteer. He says he's already filled out the paperwork, so maybe I'll see him again. He said he was going to go another, you know, a couple 100 feet, and he was turning around. He said he'd pass me on the way down, so we'll see if that happens. I told him, well, I'll be at the trailhead for a bit, taking all my gear off and rehydrating, and hopefully I'll see him, because it makes me nervous. People going up there when a storm's coming in, and they're not prepared. You know what I mean? But I'll probably be back to the car in 30 minutes. Well, that'll about do it for this edition of Backcountry Trails. My winter exploration above the Devil's Slide Trail near Saddle Junction in the San Jacinto wilderness of the San Bernardino National Forest. In the next edition of Backcountry Trails, I'm going to take a drive up near Julian, California. I'm going to try to locate a lost, abandoned family cemetery belonging to A.E. Coleman, better known as Fred Coleman. He's the original freed slave from the South that homesteaded up near Julian and was the first person to discover gold and start the gold rush up near Julian. So that's going to be a off-trail navigation up along Ritchie Creek. I might be trespassing. I don't really know for sure. I haven't figured that out 100%. But I did locate the abandoned cemetery. At least I think what was the abandoned cemetery. So that'll all be up in the next edition of Backcountry Trails. Anyway, don't forget to hit that click and subscribe button and tap that notification bell. And we'll see you on the trail. Alrighty, take care. Bye-bye.